Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Robert Phoenix. Looks like we've got the stream linked up and ready to rock and roll. We are streaming live now over on the 15 minutes side, and yep, there's the live button. My apologies for running a bit late here today. Just trying to get it together. And I'm just waiting now for the stream to pop up here. There we are. That's right. I am live, and here we go. Let's see who's in the old chat room. We got Mary. Hi, Mary. Rizila, Ani, Ian. What's going on? Jenny, Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda. JMP. Hi, JMP. Judy. Hi, Judy. Diana Young. There's Paulette. All right. Ready and assembled. Power Rangers are on. Let's see. Just want to make sure we get the stream happening. There we go. We're over on YouTube now. All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Robert Phoenix, broadcasting to you live from Fredericksburg, Texas. And it is the 12th of June. Jasper is here. He's part of the proceedings. You just can't see him. He's hidden. He's below the line, as they say. So just wanted to catch up on a few things today. We got about a half-hour show, a little over a half hour, so I'm going to try and get in as much as I can, send you guys off into the world with as much information and humor as possible, keeping things light. So just kind of following up on yesterday with what happened in San Antonio. Apparently, it's more than 350. The number now is about 850 people that showed up at that Greyhound bus station in San Antonio, and it's a lot more than originally was purported. Now, apparently, they had a pretty significant meeting back in April inside the city about Ebola. They had basically, you wouldn't call it a conference or a webinar, but they had kind of an emergency meeting in San Antonio about Ebola in April. So did the city government of San Antonio know that this was coming and on its way? Question mark. I wonder. Still no answers as to how they got there. Still no answers as to who bought their tickets. Still no answers as to who their sponsors are. And we're not going to get them. We don't matter that much anymore if you haven't figured that out. So let's get into a little bit of astrology. And here's the chart of the moment, because there's always been kind of a undercurrent of astrology with this show. What's really interesting is when we do the show right around this time, Cancer is on the ascendant here in Fredericksburg. So it's a nurturing kind of moment in time, right? This is what we're dealing with here. Mercury is nicely placed right on the ascendant, so it's talking and listening in the sign of Cancer. My father had Mercury in Cancer, and he was one of the best listeners on the planet. And I tell you, if you are a good listener, there's an underappreciated quality of healing that comes with being a good listener. To just hear somebody, just to listen to them, and to allow them, to give them the space to talk and not think about what you're going to say next, which is really one of the most challenging things that most humans have, yours included. If you can just allow that person to unfold, listening can become an incredible healing tool. So we talked about this yesterday a little bit. I talked about it clearly on the video I did with Heather yesterday. If you haven't seen the video that Heather and I did, it's worth checking out because Heather and I bounce off of each other really, really well. And we talked about a lot of different issues, and we had a lot of different perspectives, and it was really, really good. So that's over on my my YouTube channel, over on the 11th House side. It's also over on Heather's YouTube channel as well. So if you haven't found that, I would say check it out. So we've got some nurturing energy today, but it's in conflict. There are demands on this energy. There are demands over here with the Pluto-Saturn opposition. And we're trying to sort this out. This is a theme now. It's going to be with us for the rest of the summer and really accentuated by the eclipses. Sorting out this idea around what is emotionally empowering and nurturing, and what is connected to things like our families, our communities, the emotional content that is really important to our day-to-day lives. Right? This is where it's at, and it's being emphasized in opposition to this Pluto-Saturn conjunction, this juggernaut, this absolute juggernaut of these titanic corporocratic oligarchic powers, which I'm going to get into a little bit today. And I'm going to play a video from Susan Wojcicki, who is the CEO of, or the vice president of YouTube, I think. She's the person that basically runs YouTube. And I'm going to show you a video she did, and she did it, I believe, yesterday. And this is in response to what's happened over on YouTube and the Great Purge. The Great Purge. You know, this is not unlike what happened in the former Soviet Union. I mean, people didn't die. YouTube creators didn't die, but their channels certainly did. I mean, and this is what people like Stalin and Mao, they exterminated people. They exterminated them. They just took them out. And so even though these people can get up and do their jobs or whatever they do, they no longer exist on YouTube. It's an interesting corollary. Anyway, we've got the moon in Libra, so we're trying to find balance and we're trying to find emotional equilibrium in the midst of all of this, in the midst of this tug of war between self-care and nurturing and bonding and growing and protecting versus duties, responsibilities, and figuring out, you know, is there a message or is there a code for the common good that we are trying to understand and live by, like government, right? Government is theoretically a code for the common good. Theoretically, we'll put that in quotes. So we're trying to figure this out. We're trying to emotionally balance these things, and in our lives, our own personal needs, our own personal wants, our own personal desires around the things that bring us nurturing contentment and emotional content versus what's going on in the world at large. This is, I think, the main sort of axis point for the energies today. And this gets back into some of the Kevin Durant material. It is still reverberating in the echo chamber. Somebody's got to be blamed. Somebody's got to be blamed for Kevin Durant's Achilles tear. Kevin Durant is a grown-ass man. He's a grown man. He can make decisions whether or not he wants to play. He has a very powerful agent who has been working assiduously to make Kevin and himself a very rich man. They can make decisions. Take responsibility for your decision to play. Do not blame the team. This is we're now in the midst of a big snowflake debate around all this. All right. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to play a video here, and this is a video with Susan Wojcicki, who happens to be I think she's the vice president or president of YouTube. I want to play this for you. This is her responding, and it's very bizarre. This video is very bizarre. This is her responding to the allegations, so to speak. The allegations that YouTube was fascist and summarily axing channels and YouTube personalities without any real thought of the consequences. Okay, so I'm going to play this for you, and you're going to get it over on the 15-minute side first, obviously, because that's where it's going first, and then over on YouTube. So here she is, Susan Wojcicki, and watch her eyes. Watch her eyes during this Q&A. They're very strange. Here we go.
please welcome Susan Wojcicki, CEO of YouTube.
CEO of YouTube.
Give you a good hip-hop theme for your way in.
Thank you.
There was a policy change. I think they all sort of happened at the same time. Can we just walk through if they were connected?
Sure. So first of all, thank you. It's a lot of things happened last week, and it's great to be here and talk about what happened. But I do want to start because I know that the decision that we made was very hurtful to the LGBTQ community, and that was not our intention at all. And
should we just set context for anyone who's not following this, what decision this was?
Yeah, so I'll go into that, but I thought it was really important to be upfront about that and to say that was not our intention, and we were really sorry about that. And but I do want to explain why we made the decision that we did. Two different things that happened at the same time. And we made a really significant change involving hate speech. This is something we had been working on for months. We have made about 30 changes in the last 12 months. This past week, we made a change in how we handle hate speech. And that took months and months of work and hundreds of people we had working on that hate speech. And that was a very significant launch and a really important one. Make it so that if there's a video that alleges that some race or religion or gender or protected group is superior in some way and uses that to justify discrimination or exclusion, that would now no longer be allowed on our platform. Hate speech. We had actually had limited features, meaning that it wasn't in the recommendations, it wasn't monetized, it had an interstitial in front of it to say that hate speech was content that we found offensive. And when we did that, we actually reduced the views to it by 80%. So we found that it was effective, but we really wanted to take this additional step. And we made this step on Wednesday, hate speech. And then we also added victims of verified violent events.
So there you go. That was Susan Wojcicki justifying the fact that they have demonetized and delisted hundreds of channels over on YouTube. But there was a point in time with that video, you can see her, she's almost smiling. There's one point where I wish I could go back and stop the video, but she's almost smiling. And it's really pretty evident that on some level she got a lot of pleasure out of it, right? Now, some people are over on Lift the Veil. Nathan did a video about the insane economics of dropping these channels, some of which have been very popular and get a lot of views. And why would YouTube do that? And doesn't that affect their model? And the answer to that is that since they're probably subsidized by the intelligence agencies, that answer would be no, it doesn't affect their model. That's why Facebook was able to stay in business for such a long period of time until theoretically it began to generate revenue, maybe not be profitable, but generate revenues because they were getting funding from the NSA, which helped start Facebook, and to this day is still very much behind the scenes with Facebook. All the social media sites are connected into the intelligence agencies. And why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't the intelligence agencies have some skin in the game? You know, they do, because they get to gather information about people. It's a great information gathering tool. And so you're going to invest in the portals that bring you the most information, right? So it's no skin off YouTube's back if they delist or demonetize hundreds of channels that bring them millions of views. They don't care. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they don't care. They don't have to. So I just wanted to show you that there is this weird kind of, it's like somebody who is lying, and then they admit to a lesser lie. It's a really subversive tactic. It's like, okay, I'll admit to you, or we'll admit to you that we're lying, but we're lying about this, which is maybe that much in terms of being impactful, versus this, which would be really impactful. So what she's doing there is she's admitting and apologizing for what took place, but she's not apologizing to the groups or the channels that it immediately affected. What she's doing is she's apologizing to the LGBTQ plus community. And so therefore, her apologia on some kind of weird, neurally programmed level has resonance. Like she can connect in with some feeling of empathy because of a special interest group that for some reason she's apologizing to, because maybe some of their content got pulled. I don't know. But that's what it seems like to me. That's what it feels like to me. But at the end of the day, she's still lying. She's lying through her teeth. And it talks about groups, right? Groups or individuals. They'll never talk about. Again, I'm not a Christian in a classic sense. I was baptized. There's certain things about Christianity that I think are really important. I don't go to church. But I do stand up for Christians when it comes to being on the short end of the stick in our times. I don't stand up for the Christian Zionists. I think that they're full of rubbish. But I do stand up for your average, ordinary Christian who is trying to live a good life, a godly life, go to church, practice values, whatever they are. They're getting the short end of the stick. They're getting screwed. And I've always been for the underdog. And right now they're the underdog. So I'm here to support them because they're getting the shaft. Whatever you think about Christianity, it's a group. And YouTube's not. And none of the other social media platforms are. It's just not. In fact, their goal is to basically take their thumb and just drive this group and this community right into the ground so that they can be replaced. And we all know that we're dealing with replacement algorithms. Because those videos even, those creators are going to be replaced by other videos. The other videos will pop up, less subversive and less perhaps impactful videos will pop up in their place. It's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and the Pod People. There are pod videos now that'll show up on YouTube because the originals are gone. And there are other platforms to go to. BitChute is one of them. These videos that I stream here on YouTube are also available on BitChute. So you can check those out. They're over there. Go check out BitChute sometimes. It's kind of like the Wild West in a lot of ways. Okay, so for the next few minutes, I'm going to be talking about the new upcoming Toy Story movie, Toy Story 4. We all remember Toy Story. Toy Story 1. The wonderful film from Pixar, that little upstart company that was in Point Richmond, California, run by Steve Jobs, who had been exiled from Apple, charting his success story and his comeback trail all the way back to Apple, leading Apple back into the 21st century, even though Steve Jobs was an asshole. A lot of successful people are assholes. I should be more of an asshole. Maybe if I was more of an asshole. Some people think I'm an asshole, I think. But maybe not enough to qualify me as being somebody who would be a successful asshole. Anyway, Steve Jobs was a successful asshole. So Toy Story was very, very popular. I didn't see it when it first came out. When I had a kid, Toy Story came. We had the DVD. Watched the DVD, right? So that was my first. It's a nice story, right? Nice little story. Toys from the past. Video games coming in, replacing the toys. It was a feel good. The first, I think 3 or 4 or 5 films from Pixar were good. They were good films. They were interesting films. And then I remember taking my kid to Toy Story 2, and I was horrified with Toy Story 2. There's a lot of trauma in Toy Story 2. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's this whole kind of military camp scene, and the toys are placed in this prison camp. It's really weird. Really, really weird. And at the end, they're going to get completely smashed. They're in this kind of, in this dump, in this incinerator. I mean, if you're a kid and you're watching these toys, that's really pretty traumatic. And at the end of the day, the aliens come in and then they save the kids. They save the toys. Right? I'm like, what the fuck is going on here with Toy Story 2? It was really strange. Anyway, we've got Toy Story 4 on our plates. And so here's the loose theme of the plot. The girl in Toy Story has made a toy at school. So we're going to applaud her for making her own toy. However, there's always a move involved. That's one of the back themes of Toy Story. There's always a move. Somebody's always moving. And that toy was left behind. And the girl really, really, really loves this toy that she made. And so the Toy Story gang are going to go back and you know what? They're going to get that toy. They're going to find that toy. We're going to bring it back for that little girl. Even if that toy becomes more special than they are. Want to look at the toy? Shall I bring the toy to your attention? Here's the toy. The toy's name is Sporky. Okay? Sporky. So, Sporky does not know whether he's a spoon or a fork. Sporky has utensil confusion. He's confused. And he's clearly unhappy. Look at the furrowed brow. He has uneven eyes. He's got pipe cleaner arms. What you can't see about Sporky, though, is that Sporky has a rainbow on his left foot. That's true. He's got a rainbow on his left foot. Sporky's got one foot in the rainbow world. So what the hell is Sporky? Well, he doesn't know. Am I a fork or am I a spoon? And what does that remind you of? What does Sporky remind you of? He reminds you of somebody who has gender confusion. They don't know if they're a boy or a girl. So if they're watching Toy Story 4, somewhere in their little 5, 6, 7-year-old hearts are saying, oh, I feel so much better. Sporky doesn't know who Sporky is either. Oh, it's okay to not know. It's okay to be a confused, fucked up fake toy. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? It's okay to be confused. This is the message. This is the message of Toy Story 4. Let me give it to you again. Here he is. I think Sporky will be nominated for an Academy Award. This is what I'm thinking. That Sporky will be nominated as Best Actor in a motion picture film. And Sporky will be the first plastic utensil to win an Oscar. Doesn't it feel that way? I mean, it's kind of like my left foot, only with plastic dinnerware. So he's got utensil confusion, and if you're a young person, you say, "Oh wow, I relate to Sporky." Not everybody knows who they are, and of course, the Toy Story crew has to put Sporky and Sporky's primary primacy before their own. They're going to sacrifice their special status amongst the little girl's toys so that they can bring this toy back that she absolutely loves and adores, so he can be part of the toy family. Sporky. Sporky is going to spork debate. We're going to have people on multiple TV networks and platforms talking about the cultural significance of Sporky. And then, of course, people will come in and say, well, sometimes a spork is just a spork. Oh, right. Right. And there will be some people who will be accused of sporkophobia. Would you have sporkophobia? Oh, right. I see. Yeah. The DSM will then come out with a new malady. We'll come out with a new classification categorization. It would be something along the lines of what utensilgoric, utensilphobic. There are some people who are utensilphobic, and quite often they point to the film Toy Story 4, as a trigger for their utensilphobia. That Sporky brings up the unresolved parts of who they are. Sporky will become a flashpoint and an important part of the debate around utensil dysphoria. I guarantee you that. I've never used a spork, by the way. I'm not opposed to using sporks. I've just never used one. I've been a fork and a spoon guy most of my life. I guess if I was alone on a camping trip somewhere and I had to use a spork, nobody was around, I'd use a spork, right? Just me and the spork. I've never used a spork. I don't have anything against sporks, though. I really don't. I'm not hateful towards sporks. I think sporks have a place in our society. They really do. And they probably need some kind of, love, spork love. Take a spork out to lunch today. And maybe we can even have National Spork Day. We've got a national day for just about anything else and everything else. National Spork Day. Anyway, Toy Story 4 will be sure to spork debates amongst the masses and the multitude of pundits and TV announcers and talking heads. Let's see what you guys have to say about Sporky and what your thoughts on Sporky are. Let's see, we got stream starting shortly. You guys should be able to plug in. Let me give you some updates on the event in October. It is happening in October. It is going to be on the 11th. People could come in here. Let me give you the dates on this thing so you guys can figure it out. Hold on. Where did the stream go? Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. Let's see. That is sporked up. Sporkophobia, yes. We've got the Hegelian sporkolectic. Let's see. Sticky Mark says, some years ago, spent some time in the company of some dishonorable people. I was repeatedly waterboarded. I would happily let them do that to me again and again. I wish anyone harmed. I loathe plastic utensils. Blame Taco Bell for the sporks. Yes. I think they used to give sporks with mashed potatoes at KFC. Coming soon, forks and spoons banned from public school cafeterias. I know, right? Toy Story 4 is a great boon for the spork manufacturers. So the event in October, let me talk to you guys a little bit about that. I have my date set and I have my location set, and now I'm rounding out the roster of wonderful people that are going to be a part of this event. So let me give you the lowdown, the rundown of the October event. It's going to be Harvest Moon in the Hill Country, because we'll be experiencing the Harvest Moon. So we're looking at the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th of October. So 10, 11, 12, 13. You can come in on the night of the 10th. Okay, you can come in on the night of the 10th because that's when everything will start to pick up and generate. On the morning of the 11th, we'll have activities. So we're going 3 full days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's going to be at a hotel in Kerrville, which is, you could probably get there the easiest to San Antonio. So we've got Rock Castaldo. He's going to be there, and we have my friend Stephen Kent, who's a didgeridoo player. He's going to be performing. Emily Moyer is going to be there. Steve and Chris, I think, are going to come. Heather from Astrology with Heather will be there, and a few other people are going to be there. So it's going to be a good opportunity to meet some of these people that have been on my shows. There's going to be some workshops. There's going to be some panel discussions. There's going to be some experiential things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing some road trips. We're going to get out to Enchanted Rock and do an Enchanted Rock hike on one of the days. So it's going to be really, really cool. You get to experience the cuisine of Texas. We're going to have barbecue with a vegetarian option. We'll have a Tex-Mex night with a vegetarian option. And we're going to go to this Japanese restaurant, which is a really great Japanese restaurant. And they make incredible sushi and all kinds of stuff. And it's right next to this. And the hotel is pretty cool, I have to say. It's got a great pool, a great lounge area. The rooms are really nice. We're going to have a nice conference area. And we're going to be doing some off-sites. So we won't just be there but it's a good place to meet. It's a good place to hang out. It's a good place to get the rooms. They're very comfortable. So those are the dates that we're looking at. And so what you'll be doing basically is you'll be paying for your airfare and the rooms. And then there's going to be a fee on top for some of the other stuff like food and the things that I'm bringing in that you guys won't have to worry about. Once you get here, you won't have to worry about any meals. They'll all be taken care of. That's breakfast you can get at the hotel. That's on you. But lunch and dinner, I take care of. I take care of that. Well, you'll take care of it, but I'll take care of organizing all that stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to happen during the harvest moon. It's probably going to be one of the last best weekends in the hill country. The weather here is generally around that time is in the high 70s, low 80s. It's a really, really nice time to be here. So it's also the harvest time, harvest festival, little Oktoberfesty. If you wanted to get out and, rent a car and go do some tours of the wine country here, you'll be able to do that as well. I'm not offering that, but if you want to do that, that's cool. It's up to you. But we are going to have some offsites and some pretty cool offsites at that. All right, I'm going to get on out of here. I'll have more information about that in the days to come. I just have to make sure I've got a few connections that are tight, but we've got the dates, we've got the place, that's done, and I think it's going to be a really, really fun event, and I'm looking forward to meeting as many people as have been a part of this experience, and it'll be good for us to all get together and get out of a virtual world. If you want It's Okay to Be White, a White Cat t-shirt, go to the 15 Minutes of Flame site. I've already sold 3. I got to get up to 24. 24 is the magic number. Once I get 24, they go out. Okay? All right. Thanks for checking in with me today. I promise I'll be as close as I can, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Use your head to discern what's real, your heart to say what's possible. Thank you again for showing up. I'm Robert Phoenix. And why don't you take a spork out to lunch today? Show a spork a good time. I'll see you tomorrow.